I recently gave a presentation about beauty in stamps and tried to describe some of the features, some of what I consider to make a stamp beautiful. And in the case of the Netherlands, I don't think of their stamps as being particularly beautiful. And I didn't have any Netherlands stamps in my presentation. However, they do have a great tradition of what's called graphic design. You know, the lettering and the placement of the different elements. So here are some that I picked out as being especially notable in that regard. Now, this is a very, very common stamp. I remember when I was a kid, this was one of the first stamps, this type of Netherlands definitive, which they issued for a long time from 1924 to 41. And, you know, I don't even think I realized as a kid what was in this design. There's a bird at the top above the 1.5 cent. It's a gull apparently spreading its wings, but somehow just the overall look of it, the way the lettering is done and the placement of this kind of weird design really struck me and was one of my favorite types of stamps. Now, these are other favorites. Here we're getting into some more really attractive stamps. And again, you see the lettering around the side. I believe that's the Latin for Utrecht University, but it's not particularly easy to read. Graphic designers are not especially concerned to make things easy to read. The idea is to come up with something original and striking as a design, and then leave reading it as a sort of an exercise for the viewer. The stamp on the left shows, for once, it's not Hermes, but rather Athena, Greek goddess of wisdom, also known as Minerva in Latin. And I take it this man must have been involved in the founding of the university. But I thought, for 1936, these are very stunning stamps. This is much more recent, 1969. And again, the lettering going around the side doesn't make it particularly easy to read, but I find it very striking, the choice of the color of the ink and the paper, and just the way the 25 cent is incorporated in the design. Also, I think that's a very stunning portrait. It's a copy, an engraving of a portrait of Erasmus from the 16th century. Here are some more bold graphic designs. The one on the left, the anniversary of the end of the German occupation, 1945 to 1970. The background in the lower part almost looks like it's kind of a pebbly, shiny surface. I don't know if that has some special meaning. Maybe just the darkness at the bottom representing the troubles and difficulties of the occupation. And then at the top, they're free again. And the flag stamp, 400 years, 1572 to 1972, that is a very stunning flag stamp. There have been a lot of flags shown on different stamps, and I've never seen anything quite like this. Here's some more favorites of mine. I don't know why I like these so much, but they have this hand-drawn look, including the lettering. And the colors are simple, just, yellow and blue, except for the green one. But they have such a cheerful look about them. They were great favorites of mine when I was a kid. And finally, these, what I call op art designs, computer generated. In fact, that's the theme of this set, that these are computer generated images. Normally, I don't care for computer generated images in movies and so forth, but these I like. This is what computers are good for, coming up with stuff like this. Okay, that's it. That's my brief tribute.
The flag stamps are unusual that when you put them together on a pane, they will be a continuous flag right across.
Oh,
It
yeah.
looks like the design continues from one stamp to the adjacent stamp. So it'd be an interesting pane. it will be a full design right across the pan. Quite different than many of the stamps, which all have a border and there's no
Mhm.
continuity design.
That's right. And the same is true of the stamp on the left.
Yes.
Imagine
Oh,
a row of
yeah.
those with the zigzag red and blue. Well, that's it. That's the bold work of the graphic designer.